Hello friends, welcome back to Cosmopolitan Cornbread. So today I am going to talk a little turkey. Literally, I'm going to talk about turkey today. My goodness, Stumper. My goodness, Stumper. You are all over me, girl. My word. How am I supposed to get this video filmed if you're all over me, huh? My goodness. So as you can hear, it is maybe, so you might be able to hear in the background, there's a little bit of rain happening. I've actually got a hoodie on and I'm actually kind of chilly out here, even with this hoodie on, which is saying something because I'm pretty hot-natured. We are looking at the beginning of November, and that means that just around the corner is Thanksgiving. And Thanksgiving is my favorite secular holiday. Really, it's the only secular holiday I even care a lick about, to be quite honest. But for ages, Thanksgiving has been my favorite just because me being a food writer, being someone who loves to cook, who loves to entertain, having friends and family over for a great big meal where I can just do all the things is absolutely my happy place. And that is one of the reasons I have just loved Thanksgiving. I've loved it even before I was a grown-up and did all of the hostessing. I loved it as a kid. I loved the family time and all of that. But one of the things that comes up quite a bit when I'm having people over is the turkey. And one of the things that I have heard people say repeatedly is when they take that first bite of turkey, they'll say either one of two things. They'll say, "How did you get this turkey this juicy?" Or they'll say, "I never liked turkey, but this is really good." It's always one of those two things. So there's two things that I do to make perfect roasted turkey every single time. And the first tip, I actually filmed it a year ago, maybe 2 years ago. I actually don't remember when I filmed this, but I'm going to share the footage with you from when I filmed it and walk you through the process. And that process is for the first step. Very, very important. Brining your turkey. It does not matter what kind of turkey I'm making, whether it is a straight from the farm turkey, whether it is a commercially done frozen turkey at the grocery store. I always brine it the same way, and I always brine it. So here is how I make my turkey brine. Now I'm going to brine my turkey for about 24 hours, which means I'll be starting it tomorrow because today is Tuesday. But I want to go ahead and make the brine now because it's going to take a big pot, and that means a lot of volume, and it's going to be hot. And so I want this to cool down prior to actually going in with the turkey. So I'm going to go ahead and make it today, and then I can use the brine in the morning. So in my big pot here, I've got 1.5 cups of kosher salt. I'm going to add 3 cups of apple juice. Next, I need 1/2 cup of brown sugar. A tablespoon of black peppercorns. We're going to need 5 bay leaves. Mine are actually a little bit broken, so I'm just going to kind of estimate 5 leaves there. Then I need a tablespoon of dry rosemary, but I have fresh rosemary that grows here. I've got a couple bushes of it, and so I almost never use dry when I have the fresh. So for this, I'm just using 3 sprigs of fresh rosemary. But if you've got dry crushed rosemary, of course you can use that as well. Next I have 3 oranges, and in the past I would just kind of take the peel off and use the peel when I was doing this, but we love the natural oils that are in these oranges, and so nowadays I use my microplaner and I take the zest off into the brine first. So I'm going to zest each orange. And you don't have to get every last bit of the zest off, you just want to get a good bunch of it. Alright, cut the orange in half, and then I'm going to squeeze the juice into the pot. And then just toss the whole thing in. And I'm going to repeat that with all of the oranges. Okay, so I've got all of my oranges in here. I've got them zested, juiced, sort of juiced and squeezed and just plopped into the brine. And so now I'm going to take 1 onion, and I'm just going to peel it, and I'm just going to kind of chop it into chunks, kind of quarter it or eighth it. And into the pot. So now the next thing that's going to go in here, and it's actually the last ingredient, is water. And this recipe calls for 2 gallons of water. Now I know not everybody has a pot that big that can handle 2 gallons of water plus the other ingredients. So if you don't have a pot that big, you can cut the water, say, in half. Just make it with 1 gallon, and then when you actually go to use the brine, add the other gallon of water at the time. So I'm going to start getting the water. So now once you've combined all of those ingredients, you're going to bring them up to a boil. You're going to stir it occasionally, make sure that salt is completely dissolved, and then you're going to reduce the heat and simmer it for about 15 minutes. After it has simmered, you're going to allow it to completely cool down, and I like to make this brine the day before I need it. So if we're doing Thanksgiving on Thursday, I'm going to start brining the turkey on Wednesday, which means I'll usually make the brine itself on Tuesday. I like to spread out the things that I do and make some things ahead of time. That way I'm not trying to get so much done on Wednesday, which is really the big cooking day for me. So anything that I can do in advance is great because it makes less for me to do on Wednesday. Another thing that I do on the Tuesday prior to Thanksgiving is make the cranberry sauce, because that keeps really well, and you can make that in advance too. Now when I pulled up the footage of me making the brine, I actually had cranberry sauce in that same folder of video clips, and I don't know if I ever shared the video of the cranberry sauce. If I can't find it, I will go ahead and make another video and share that footage as a standalone video. But the recipe is on my website, and I'll put that linked down below. So back to the turkey. As I was saying, I would make the brine ahead of time, let it cool overnight, and just be ready for me to use the next day. So now when it comes time to actually brine the turkey, you of course want to start with a turkey that is thawed out. If you need tips on thawing out a turkey, I have an article where I explain all the different ways to do that. I'll put that in the video description too. After you've removed the neck and all of the innards from the turkey, you'll place the turkey feet side up down into a 5-gallon food safe bucket. Then you'll pour the brine and all of the ingredients all on top of that turkey. Now, if the big pot that you're making the brine in wasn't big enough to hold the full 2 gallons of water, you would add the additional gallon of water at this time. And then once you do, if there's any parts of the turkey not fully submerged, usually the ends of the legs, you want to go ahead and add enough water so that everything is covered with liquid. Then you're going to cover that bucket with the lid or with some aluminum foil. Place that bucket inside a tub or some sort of big container and fill it with lots of ice, because you're going to need to keep your turkey nice and chilled to keep it safe while it's brining. Now, if by some miracle you actually have a refrigerator big enough to put an entire 5-gallon bucket inside there, of course you can put it in your fridge. Or if you live someplace with a cold enough climate that it is below 40 degrees, and if you can keep it safe from the wildlife that is out there, then of course you could do that as well. When we lived in Alaska, I brined my turkey and put it out in the garage because of course it was definitely below 40 degrees in November in Alaska. But you're going to allow the turkey to brine for at least 8 hours, generally overnight, and you could do it for up to 24 hours. Once it's done brining, you're going to go ahead and pull the turkey out, remove any of the brine pieces, debris that is in there, and then you're going to rinse the turkey inside and out with cold water. And then you want to set the turkey on a rack in your sink and just allow it to completely drain out any remaining water. Then you'll pat it dry with some paper towels and your turkey will be ready to roast. Now, I have a certain technique that I use for roasting my turkey that again makes the juiciest, most amazing turkey you have ever had. Now, I don't have a video of that process. However, it is published on my website, cosmopolitancornbread.com, and I will put a link to that down below. Let me tell you, if you make your turkey the way I make my turkey, it is going to be juicy, it's going to be full of flavor, it's going to be amazing, and you will never stuff your turkey again. So I hope you find this information helpful. Again, you will find the links to all of the things that I mentioned in the video description down below, as well as a link to how to make turkey stock with your leftover Thanksgiving turkey carcass. So thanks for joining me here again on a brisk October afternoon. My name is Constance from Cosmopolitan Cornbread, and I'll talk to y'all next time.